Hey guys, this is Griffin Dean, maker of ShadowTag. This video is for anyone who's interested in how ShadowTag was made or for folks who are interested in game design in general. I thought it might be worthwhile to talk about the game's parkour system and some of the decisions that went into making that happen. If people like this video, and time permits, I'll do my best to make more videos about various aspects of the game. This video may get a little technical, but that comes with the territory. So let's start with a question. What is parkour? It's the art of getting from point A to point B as efficiently as possible. It's also called freerunning, although I've heard that's something slightly or entirely different. Anyway, the point of this video isn't to define parkour. I'll leave that to people with muscles and coordination. When we ask what is parkour, we're talking about parkour as a game action. What makes something feel like parkour? When I design a game action, I strive to capture the quality or essence of that action. I have this hunch that people find actions that meet their mental model naturally gratifying. A mental model is just another way of saying the way we expect something to work. For example, my mental model of this microphone is that I'm talking into it and it records my voice for others to hear later. We have a mental model for everything we encounter in life. These mental models are contextual. For example, I wouldn't talk into a rock because that goes against my mental model of what a rock does, plus everyone would probably think I finally went off the deep end. I could, however, talk into the end of a stick and by doing so reference everyone's mental model of a microphone. And it's pretty nifty, right? So where am I going with all this? Well, it plays a critical role in game action design. People's mental models are often incomplete, oversimplified, or just plain wrong. Strong game actions capture the essence of an action. They don't try and simulate the action as it really is. People don't actually want realistic game actions. They want actions that agree with their mental model. The key to this is exaggeration. Let's say someone gets shot. Cowboy. So this cowboy gets shot, we'll say with a shotgun, from close range in the chest. Does he fly 5 feet backwards to the store window behind him? According to physics, no. There's not enough force. Should he fly through the window behind him? Yes, because shotguns are really powerful. How powerful? That's completely irrelevant. We all know that shotguns pack a punch and that the cowboy flying through the window proves it. It agrees with our completely incorrect mental model of how shotguns work, and that feels awesome. That brings us back to parkour and ShadowTag. It's completely unrealistic, but it captures the essence of parkour, flow and grace. It doesn't make any attempt to simulate real parkour, because that wouldn't feel as good. It may seem counterintuitive to favor theatrics over realism, but you find this kind of theatrical exaggeration in all mediums. Art, theater, and film all use theatrical exaggeration extensively. It's flashy, dramatic, and most importantly, it's easy for audiences to perceive and interpret. They immediately know what's going on. Now that we've put that to bed, let's get into the nitty-gritty details. I designed ShadowTag's parkour system with several goals in mind. First, the parkour system must be easy to learn. Any player who picks up the controller should be able to parkour like a boss. Second, the system had to be extremely reliable. ShadowTag is a competitive shooter at heart, and players have to know that the game is consistent and fair. If the player dies because the parkour system fails to meet their expectations, they will feel cheated and lose their faith in the system. If the player can blame your game for their defeat, you're done. You've lost their trust and you're not getting it back. My third and final goal for the system was to make it fun to run. Since players are invisible in ShadowTag, they're not continuously engaged in combat. The parkour supplements the downtime between firefights. The players are constantly moving in the game, so moving has to be fun or the game will fall flat. Those are the reasons the system works the way it does, but let's talk about how it works. The parkour system consists of 3 distinct actions: vault, ledge grab, and wall run. Various combinations of these actions produce all the character movements seen in the game. The system is physics-based and does not rely on scripted events. It looks at the environment and contextually identifies which action it should take next. All 3 actions are mapped to the jump button, left bumper. I'm often asked why A isn't the jump button. It's a really good question. A has been jump for as long as anyone can remember. It's a deeply rooted tradition and people are really comfortable with it. Unfortunately, it doesn't work for ShadowTag. In order to jump with A, you have to take your thumb off the right stick, which means that you can't jump and look around at the same time. Looking around while jumping is required to use the parkour system to full effect. Early in development, both A and the left shoulder button would make the player jump. Playtesting showed that the bumper jumpers reliably outperformed the A jumpers. The A jumpers often stated that the bumper jumpers were moving in ways they couldn't understand or replicate. I realized that the A jumpers were playing with a handicap they weren't aware of. They couldn't maneuver the way the bumper jumpers could, and their experience was suffering as a result. I removed A jumping, and while many players initially find bumper jumping strange, they quickly grow accustomed to it. I had to sacrifice initial comfort for long-term ergonomics and gameplay.
Well, that concludes our little program. Hello and good night. You're listening to STO Radio.